Hi, welcome to Passion Fruit Podcast. This is host Akib and I have a very interesting personality with me, Mr. Devashish Rath. Devashish is a mechanical engineer by profession. He's also a writer, author, stand-up comedian, and he's also a part of a comedy collective called Sunobe. Devashish has written two books which are published and he's writing the third one. So it means he is an author of three books, which is more than the number of books I've read. Welcome to the show, Devashish.
Thank you so much, Akif.
Welcome to Passion Fruit Podcast. The very first question, what is a regular day in life of Devashish Rath? So because you are balancing two professions, right? So how does a day go?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, and people do ask me this question on a very regular basis. I would say everyone is interested to know that how do you actually balance. So it's very important, and it's a very good question, to be honest. As a stand-up comic, your mind always runs towards finding content, starts observing things, right? And that can distract you from your main work, right?
Yeah.
Which you are doing, right? I'm a mechanical engineer working since 14 years now. So what I do is I bifurcate my time. So let's say that I start my day early in the morning, let's say not that early, but yeah, 9:30, and I start working on my regular stuff. I keep the comedy thing aside. I do not get into any of the thoughts. I do not get into any of the discussions. And once I am done with my day for that in a specific day, then I kind of devote my time
Switch
towards
to comedy.
I switch to comedy. Yeah, so that's what will happen.
So there's
in the
no
evening.
overlap.
There is no overlap, but I'll be honest that sometimes while you're working, you may a thought might run across your mind, which might be a good content. So what I do is I have a copy notebook. I just keep a note of it. That's the way in general I manage my day. It's a hectic. Every day is hectic. I say that I don't have weekends. Weekdays, weekends, everything is the same for me. Weekends we do more stuffs, right, with respect to comedy. Even if the office work is not there, but we run around and we do 3-4 mics or shows, so that write content. Basically, weekend is very crucial for us as comedians, considering that we have a day job, right?
Yeah. So when and how this passion towards comedy grew?
When the comics like Vishwa, Kannan, Kene, they were kind of growing somewhere in 2015 when the videos were going viral. People were craving to watch a lot of Indian stand-up comedy video, and there was not much in YouTube. That was the point of time when I thought that they were already in the industry since close to 5 years by then, those guys, right? And that point of time I thought that, hey, I am a writer, I've written long form as a novel, I think I can do this. The thing is, the courage to take that first step was something which was kind of stopping me from starting it. So honestly, I would have started this somewhere in 2015, but the courage part and the confusion about whom to reach out, who is the first person, how do I start an open mic, and I even didn't know that open mic exists. I always thought that you write an entire hour.
Oh.
And then you go to stage. That's
okay,
what I
yeah.
was thinking about comedy during those days, but that was all wrong. I should have taken a first step a bit earlier, but then later on, around 2017, I got into this.
But you know what they say, right? Better late than never.
Absolutely, I do agree. I do agree with that.
You basically saw the supply demand ratio, and you saw Indian comics are fairly lesser in the field.
And I didn't realize that I never thought about that. I think about that now. I didn't think about that if it is demand supply, but it was more of like, hey, this is fun, I can do it, I can try it. I was that funny guy in that group, right?
Yeah, the conversationally
Funny guy in that group. That's why I thought that, hey, I think I have a good presence of mind. I had all sorts of misinterpretation and wrong thoughts about what stand-up comedy is. That's why I was very much interested. So when I started doing, I realized that it's not easy. It's not easy how you think, and But yeah, it was not the calculation around demand supply, but it was around my likable. I was kind of feeling that, hey, I think I can do this. I can go to this stage. I can make people laugh. I can make people smile. That was the intention. But I think about the number of comics in India, what's the competition, the number of videos that comes out on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
I would still say it's less. I will still say, considering the fact that US stand-up comedy industry is something like more than 80 years old now, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
80, 90
If you
years
consider
old.
Lenny Bruce time and all, yeah.
Absolutely, very, very old. Considering that we are pretty new, so we are still growing, and this industry has a lot of opportunity and a lot of what do you call gray area which can be filled. I do feel that.
Yeah. So how was your first mic experience? There's a lot of content on YouTube. Since the artists make it look very easy, everybody must have thought, okay, I think I can also do this.
Correct.
Right? But it's not as easy. So how was your first mic experience?
You know, when I used to see these stand-up comedy videos, I used to think that, hey, these guys are doing it right on stage.
Yeah. That's the basic misconception.
That's a big, big misconception. So for people who are listening to this, the YouTube videos that you see, so those jokes would have been done many times, hundreds of times. And once the stand-up comic is kind of done with that joke and he doesn't want to do it any further, or he wants the entire world to see it, he'll put it out in YouTube. And then he'll follow it up with a main show, right? So with respect to your question, Akib, around the first stand-up comedy open mic experience, I wrote a set for 5 minutes, and that set is still in my entire
set,
1 hour or in the entire spectrum of jokes that I do, and it's still one of my favorite sets. I wrote it, and I remember in the same building on the rooftop, I practiced it for 14 times, and my wife was listening to me. I felt that it was funny. I don't know if my wife felt so. And in the same evening, I had a mic in Jagriti Theatre, so it's very close to this place. Yeah, it's a famous place. Many comics they hang around in the evening, and they do this open mic stuff there. So that was my first open mic, and when I went there, I was not knowing who were the people, who were the other comics. They were the one who were already in the scene since last 3-4 years. They were doing well, right? So, and I was a bit nervous. So I told the host that, hey, put me up first, because I didn't want to see anyone else and feel worried about him.
Pressure and nervousness.
Nervousness. I didn't want to see anyone. I just want to go and express myself. So I went on to the stage, and the moment I went on to the stage, this thing hit me. Nervousness.
Yeah.
Right? And till that time I was confident, but the moment I went to the stage, there were like 4 or 5 audience, not more than that. Nervousness hit me. I didn't forget anything somehow, but I went through my set, and I realized that the things which are funny in your mind may not be actually funny for the audience.
Correct.
And I bombed the entire 5 minutes that I had. I bombed the very first mic. And it was very, very demoralizing. It was not at all encouraging.
Must have taken you twice the motivation to get back to do another.
That's right. That's true. But I don't know why, but I didn't give up. Like after that week, I kept doing it. Not in Jagriti, because that place I bombed. I started doing it in other places, and then I started getting acquainted. But first mic was absolute disaster.
But just for this our listeners, bombing is a term with comedy.
Bombing is a term which means that if you don't do well at stage, that's called like bombing.
And if you do extremely well, it's killing.
It's killing. And if you do more than that, then it's destroying. That's
Yes.
the words that are used in comedy.
So you told you started with mics, right? When did you know that you want to put efforts on this stream? Because I believe you're giving a lot of hours to the stream.
So 3 months I was not doing well. So for the first 3 months, I used to do 1 or 2 open mics. The opportunities were also a bit tight, because as a new comic, right, no one would like to give you a spot, because you may spoil the entire show, right?
Yes,
you may go and do a specific spot, and that doesn't go well, and that impacts the entire show. So you don't get enough opportunities. So I had a little bit of open mic opportunities. So I was kind of doing 1 a week or max 2 a week. Somehow I was able to manage some of the spots. That time paid spots used to be there, so you pay 100 rupees.
Oh,
and
you had to pay to
we
get a
had to
spot.
pay and we had to pay and perform in some places. But now in Bangalore circuit, you generally don't pay and perform. After doing for 2-3 months, I realized that I have kind of got away with this nervousness part. The initial 30 seconds of nervousness kind of all spoils it because the audience see that you're not confident, so they're also not confident. They reflect your behavior. If you are confident, you're energetic, they will also reflect.
They
the same.
kind of understand that, oh, this guy is not as
Correct.
as confident as we think he is.
That's right. That's right. So that first 30 seconds used to ruin my set, even if that set was not bad. And then after 3 months, I realized that I've kind of done with this nervousness part. Then most of my fears were gone. And I started unleashing myself. I started writing more content. I started trying out things and I started enjoying. But the initial 3 months was very demotivating every weekend. I'll come back home and I'll be like, should I actually do this? And most of the other comics were like really young in 20s and all. I was in my I was in my 30s when I started this, and I was like a decade away from them.
Yeah, a slightly generation gap. Yeah.
A generation gap, right? So I used to think every day that should I be a loser in front of all these youngsters? Then I thought, no, it's all right. It's a part of the process. Just keep doing it, and then only you'll get better at it.
Makes sense. But approximately how many mics did you do in those 3 months?
Yeah, you can calculate actually, like easily. So 4, 3, 12, 15 max.
15 mics. So
15 mics.
So during those 15 mics, when you were not doing so well, I mean, you personally weren't satisfied with what you were doing.
That's right.
But you were still going on stage.
I was still going on stage.
There was some motivation for it.
Right. So what used to happen during the initial days was, I as a young comic or a new comic will work if the audience is good.
Yeah.
If I get a very supportive and nice audience, then it will work. The same content with the same confidence will work. That used to give me some confidence that, hey, okay, this worked. But I also used to know that the audience was very supportive, right? But the audience was already seen comedy, and they are very, very judgy about everything, right?
Yeah, because they have seen YouTube videos and the expectation from the
Expectations is very high. When you perform in front of them, you may bomb. And my motivation was the laughters that I got during some of those out of those 15 mics, and my demotivation was when I used to bomb. So it was a mix. The probability of doing well was 40%, and the probability of not doing well was 60%. So that 40% drove me towards
pushing it harder.
Right. To inch closer towards that 100%. 100%. No one can say that you are 100%. Today evening I have like 3 places to perform. I don't know what I'll do. I know that I will not bomb. I know that I will do well. But will I kill? Will I destroy? It completely depends. It completely depends on whether I'm confident or overconfident. It depends on what place I am performing, whether I am the host.
Okay.
So if you are the host, there is a lot in your control. But yeah, it's more towards making that probability of doing well higher. The more you are
so you're just pushing the percentage to a bigger percentage.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So you have a day job.
Yeah.
You are pursuing comedy by the evening.
Right.
How does your family take this?
My family is very supportive, super supportive. I'll be very honest about it. They do have complaints here and there, but they do support me wholeheartedly. Not only comedy, so I'm doing this since slightly more than 3 years now. I have been pursuing this passion as a writer since close to 10 years now, right? I started writing somewhere around 2011 when I started my first book. So they have seen me do these stuffs. They know that this guy is someone who will keep himself busy with stuffs. Sometimes it kind of imbalances things. Many a times, let's say that my wife has some plans, but I'll say, hey, I have a show which is an important one. So yeah, she may not be very happy about it, but at the same time, she knows that it's important. So my wife, my family, my parents, they stay here. I have a daughter. They are very supportive about it. Even when they listen to my content, they sometimes give feedback. There are many jokes which I have kind of stolen from my daughter.
Oh, from your daughter?
From my daughter. She has nice one-liners, and And she said, Papa, can you use this? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I tweak it and I use it.
Oh, most of your shows are in the evening. That's the
right.
family time, right?
That's
So,
right. That's right.
uh, uh, kudos to your family.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I want to ask something personal now. I mean,
Sure.
how, as a person, do you manage time? Because I feel having two jobs and the second one taking for comedy, I believe your mind has to be there all the time. If you may not be on stage, you may be somewhere out, but something hits your mind and you immediately write it down or take a mental note.
That's right.
Right, you have to be there all the time. How do you manage time for
Yeah,
this?
this is a very. I mean, we started our discussion with this. I want to elaborate this a bit further. See, I kind of get. I kind of come across this question on a daily basis where my colleagues, my seniors, juniors, many folks, they ask that how do you manage time? There is one thing which I say to all of them, and this is what I practice. I'll come to comedy, but in general, time management, with respect to time management, the most important thing is you need to keep your RAM free. Now, if you're keeping your RAM free, which is your so let us say that I am in this, we are discussing in this podcast, right? You and me are discussing, and I'm thinking about something else. Then I'm not doing my 100% here. I will not give the best. So the impact and the quality goes down, right? So the most important thing, if I have 10 things to be done in this day today, there are 10 things to be honest, write it down. Writing helps you free your RAM significantly because the moment you know that this is my notebook, I've written down the 10 things that I need to do today. You don't have to stress your memory. You will not be thinking about it because you know that there is a notebook you can fall back to and you can do. You know, this is a very simple thing which I kind of tell everyone. Writing does not mean that I will go for a show in the evening. It also, you should also detail it to things which you need to do before that.
Oh.
I write everything to that level. So let us say that if I have to publish something on Facebook, I have to update a comma in a document. I have to send a mail to this production house, or I have to put a signature in a specific document. Anything, even a smallest of the thing, I write it down. So that helps me not worrying about that thing and focusing on the present thing that I'm doing. Trust me, if you write down everything that you need to do, even if it is the smallest of an activity, it will help you a lot. It helps a lot in time management. And another thing is, it's always important when you are doing two things, right? When you have a day job and you're pursuing your passion, it's always very, very important to keep both the things separate. Because if you don't keep both the things separate, you end up achieving nothing. It's very important to bifurcate both the things. So as I started, right? So morning till evening when I work, I do my work.
Mechanical engineer.
Yeah, I'm a mechanical engineer, and once I shut down my laptop, I am a comic. Intermittently, while walking or kind of a break or a bit of lease time during the entire day, if some thoughts come across my mind, I'll note it down. Takes a minute or so, right? So vice versa also happens. When I'm thinking about comedy, something comes about my work that, hey, I can do this. Multitasking is a wrong word. It doesn't exist. You can't multitask. You can't do two
Chances
things.
are you fail both the tasks.
Yeah, you will fail. You will. The chances are very high that you'll fail in both the tasks. You shouldn't do multitask. You should plan your day well. Just plan early morning. You wake up, or the previous day you think that these are the few things I am doing. Write it down, and progress. You may not be as per plan, but you will definitely be able to manage your time well. The problem with most of the people who don't manage their time well because they don't know what they need to do. They don't prioritize. What should I do first? ये mail पहले भेजूँ या इस call को पहले answer करूँ?
What I go by is one of my mentor had told me a very simple logic. So suppose on a Monday you have told yourself that you will wake up and do so and so things. When you wake up on Monday, don't ask yourself again, are you going to do it?
Yes.
See, comedy is not a profession where you have to be there.
Right.
You leave, a lot of them won't be affected by it.
Correct.
If only, maybe people will be very happy that another competition is gone, but nobody will call you and tell you have to be here like a corporate or a job scenario. And it's all about self-motivating, right? To be there and do that. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So with respect to comedy, that may happen when you are during your initial days, but once you're in it, you're responsible. Now let us say that we five of us, right? Kritesh, Jitesh, Shid, Rishabh, and me, we run this stand-up comedy collective called Sunobe. And now we are responsible for Sunobe. Now we are responsible for the mics that are happening around Sunobe, the Zoom mics, the live mics, right? We are responsible because we have announced it. So we can one day cancel everything and say that we don't want to do comedy. But we are 5 of us. No one will let each other fail. Everyone want to succeed. So let's say that I am not in a good mindset one day, so the other four will pick up. So that's the teamwork, and that's the advantage of having a team. Let's say that I am a lone comic who is roaming around for spots and getting spots, doing well also getting spots, but that point of time the motivation part comes into picture. If I'm not that motivated, I may not be willing to go and perform one day. Hey, I'll not do comedy for 15 days because I don't feel like. But when you're a part of group, the group pulls each other. Self motivation is very important. Even if you have a team, if you are not self motivated, even they can't pull you up, right?
Makes sense, yeah.
You need to be self motivated, and if you're down, then you just have to think that what is that reason why I started this? You have to think, you have to go back and think.
Yeah.
And the moment you go back and think the reason why you started this, you will be all energetic again. You may have bombed someday, right? Let's say that you have 2 shows in the weekend. You bombed in all the 2 shows. You feel like, man, comedy is terrible. It kind of औकात बता देता है आपको हर दिन everyday basis. But what is the ray of hope? Can I write it better? Can I perform it better? Do I have a workaround? Can I see someone like Bassi, what he did in his short career, what he's doing now, right?
Yeah.
Or anyone who has become successful. Bassi comes to my mind because he compressed that cycle of 5 years into 2 years,
Yeah.
and became a very, very successful comic.
Breakout comic.
Yeah, it's like it's a once in, like those type of comics, they come once in 10 years, in a decade, right?
Yeah.
So you have to see and think that why did you start this as a passion? What drove you to start this? And that will kind of remind you that, yeah, I did had a goal. I did think of something. I did want to make people laugh. I did want to make a mark in this industry, and that's what will keep you motivated. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Because this profession is taking a break time, right? Even weekends, the break
is right.
for most of us.
But many times we also take break during the weekends. Like for example, some of the weekends, like the next weekend, the next week, I've kind of taken a break.
Okay.
I have some family stuffs and to do, right? So I've taken a break, so which is fine. You can take a break once in a while. You can manage. You can say that I'm not going to do any spots, anything. No problem. That's all right. It's always good to take a break. You will have fresh thoughts. You will have fresh mindset to do comedy. When you come back, you'll be more energetic. So it's always good.
So what do you do when you feel you're burned out? What do you prefer doing?
So in general, I'll try to kind of be like a silent person who doesn't talk to anyone. I'll do a walk. I'll do a bit of workout, not workout, but I'll say walk. I'll just kind of give that time to myself, not thinking, not doing anything. Not doing anything is important many a times. That kind of gives your mind some rest. That's what I try to do, and many times this good movies, good series, good right stuffs on YouTube or Netflix, that kind of motivates you. And like last week, very hectic. We all sat together as a family. We started watching this movie called Drishyam 2. Amazing movie.
Amazing movie, yeah.
Outdid it, right? So those kind of movie kind of refreshes you and kind of
gives you the break. Doesn't let you think about either of your work streams, right?
That's right.
So now I'll ask you a little bit about the comedy stream. Okay, a lot of people see there are millions of views on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like I told you, a lot of people must be aspiring to become a comic because everybody has a conversationally funny friend, right? And chances are he's told you should try stand-up comedy. So if for our aspiring listeners, aspiring stand-up comic listeners, what do you want to tell? How do they approach to this? How should they approach this stream?
Yeah, I was having the same conversation with another friend of mine yesterday. He's not into comedy, but he's into public speaking. He's a very young guy in his college, and he was asking me the same question. So, the most funniest person in your group not necessarily can become a good stand-up comic. It's a myth, but the chances are high that he can also do well because he has a good presence of mind. But when you are the most funny person in the group, you know what happens? You already have a setup during a conversation which someone else is giving. your presence of mind is kind of helping you to put a punchline to that. So your setup is ready, you are giving a punchline, and that makes it funny. And everyone is thinking that you're funny. Now, when you have to do stand-up comedy, the setup comes from you, the punchline comes from you, the expression comes from you, and you are all alone. The people who have come to watch might be watching you for the first time, right? They don't know you. So it's very important as a stand-up comic to create that connect. The more they connect with you, the more you will do well. Let's say you're performing for two people, like yesterday we were performing for a small audience, right? If you perform for two people, or you perform for 200 people, or you perform for 2,000 people, if you are able to establish that connect with the audience, then you're all done. If they start feeling that, yeah, this guy is me, I am if the audience is able to reflect some of their thought process in you, then you are all set.
Yeah.
Then your content is important. Of course, your content is important, not only connect, but yeah, connect will take you a long way.
Because I have seen we go on stage and sometimes tell inside jokes because they're very funny. Among a group, it's very funny. We tell inside jokes, but like you told, we should build a connect. So Bassi does inside jokes. I mean, whatever has happened with his group,
that's right,
and he kills, he destroys
that's
with
right.
the same content.
That's right.
So what you told makes total sense that we have to build a connect.
He makes a connect as well as he has jokes, as well as he has tags. Now let's think about, so for example, he went into that hostel story. Before he started that hostel story, he told you a joke about that rank, right?
Yeah.
AAA. मेरा rank इतना लंबा था कि उसमें comma लगे हुए थे. He added 10 tags around it.
Oh.
So that kind of, he started with a high, then he said that key, then he went into a story, right? And then he told you a story, and every story that he said, he will always say everything in a different way. You are thinking that ki boys hostel में रहते हैं जानवर जो बात कर सकते हैं, right? You never thought that he's going to say that. So that's what makes a joke or makes a line funny, and storytelling is definitely one of the toughest one. But coming back to a question of what would be your approach or inputs to the young comics or aspiring comics. Even I am a young comic. I may not look young, but I am a young comic like you. There are many senior comics and many professional comics out there who are really doing a great job. I am still learning, and I learn every day, and that's the biggest part which I love the best, right? If you're learning every day, then you're growing. But for me, like for example, yes, I can definitely suggest you something. Being part of this comedy family, first and foremost important thing is don't give up. If you have thought of doing this, you thought of something. If you're passionate enough to do this, then do it. If you're not passionate enough to do this, you don't feel like doing it, just leave. No problem. छोड़ दीजिए, कोई problem नहीं. But if you're passionate enough, but something is not working out, you should always work on it. You should work on your content, you should work on your expression, you should work on your personality, you should work on your connect, and that will help you, right? If you're passionate enough. You're not able to connect with comedy, but there were few things which motivated you to start it. Like many people, they start कि मेरा breakup हो गया, I'll start comedy. No, that's not how you should start comedy. नहीं, माइक के साथ एक फोटो आएगा तो बहुत cool लगेगा. No. Those are not the reasons to start comedy. No, I will look cool if people start calling me an artist. No, don't do that.
Makes sense.
Because you will not become a good comic. People will realize that in 4 or 5 mics, and you'll lose the respect.
And you're doing it for a very small validation.
That's right.
And when you achieve that validation, like you told, Mike के साथ photo आएगा अच्छा लगेगा. Once you get that good picture, you're done.
You're done, right? I mean, that's not the aim. The aim should be that why did you start? Are you really passionate enough to continue this? Because it's not like nothing is going to happen overnight that कि मैं कल content लिखा, आज perform किया, परसों shoot कर दिया और मैं viral हो गया. No, it's not going to happen. Yes. It's a process. It's going to take its own time.
There's hustle behind it.
Yes, there is a lot of hustle behind it. There is a lot of engineering that goes behind every line that a comic is writing. Not only me, everyone who is writing, they are putting a lot of thoughts behind it. And the audience who comes and watches, they will not know how much pain it is for a comic when they put effort and it didn't work. They cry. People would have cried if their jokes wouldn't have worked out. It's a very, very serious affair, and people don't know. But for young comics, I definitely want to say that गिव अप नहीं करने का है. Definitely, if you are interested in this, you should stick in. You should
It's absolutely okay to bomb.
It's absolutely okay to bomb, but yeah, just see that if you bomb for the first time, what was the reason? Always try to record your set. Try to do a video recording. Give your fellow comic your mobile set. Can you record this? Because see, many people they do voice recording. That's a good thing. No problem, great. But I like to do a video recording because I have a lot of expression with which I do my jokes, and I want to validate that. कि ये आज क्यों नहीं चला और ये आज इतना अच्छा क्यों चला? Should I adapt it? Should I try it next time? When I try it next time, did it work? Okay, then there is a validation.
Yeah.
So always make sure that you record your sets in the best possible way, so that you can refer to it. So since the time I started doing comedy till now, wherever I perform, 90% of those are recorded. 90%, 10% कभी miss हुआ होगा because there was no one to record or the logistic didn't work out well, but 90% of those are recorded. Every day I perform, I watch it. Even if I did well, I watch it. Even if I didn't do well, I watch it, just to know that what went wrong or what went well. So it's very important to keep that validation. But if you see that your same content is not working again and again, it's time to change it, tweak it, make it better.
Make it better. And
Don't you may feel that hey, it's funny man, it will work someday. But अगर 5 mic में अलग अलग variety audience के साथ you have already tried it and it's not working out, that means you need to change it.
you need to change it or maybe improve it.
Improve it or scrap it, no problem.
Oh,
क्या
okay.
है? घर की खेत की मूली, आपका दिमाग से jokes तो निकलते ही रहेंगे. If you want to become a comic, you have to write a lot of stuff. If one doesn't work out, just leave it. Move forward. Come back to it maybe after a year or maybe after 2 months. There are some of the sets which I wrote, sets not bits, which I wrote 3 years back. And I was relooking and kind of arranging everything because I am doing my 1-hour trial shows. So I was just looking at those, and then I realized ki, hey, did I really write it? This is so shitty, man. So it was very embarrassing to see those old sets. But then I thought the observations are good here. I can write it better because now I'm a better comic than what I was.
Knowledge has increased.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I modified them, and those sets, those bits are really doing well now. So you park it. Move on. Don't get kind of attached to that one bit that Kini, I'm going to kill it, I'm going to make it better. If you're not able to, then there is some problem in your thought process, or you have to do something else. So don't be in that mind block. It's better to move on.
Move on, and then when you attain that level
Correct.
of proficiency, get back to it, and maybe then
Kabhi bhi,
it will-
relook at it anytime later. But yeah, so biggest I would always say that do as many open mics as possible. Reach out to everyone. Do not hesitate.
This is the thumb rule. If you want to get into comedy, do as many open mics as possible,
Yes.
and don't give up when you bomb.
Don't give up when you bomb. It's all right to bomb, but but you should also realize why you are bombing and to make it better. So next time when you go to the stage with the same set, if you didn't get laugh at all, then you should at least get laugh at 2 points. When you go to the so go to the stage for the third time, you should get laugh at least 4 points. That's how you're making it better. But if that's not happening, as I said, right, let's move on to the next set or next bit or whatever it is, right?
Yeah. So when you see a young aspiring comic, what do you think that person should have that X thing, except for comedy or the sense of humor or sense of comedy? What do you think that person should have to sustain in this field?
A very tough question here, but I can say what has kind of been working for us. First of all, I do believe that connect is important, your network is important. Initially, when you initiate a conversation with someone, that person might not be very interested to talk to you because he doesn't know you. He might be a big comic also. But everyone has that person inside who wants to talk and express with others. So if you are able to connect with other comics, build that rapport with them, learn from them, talk to them, understand what worked. Like for example, when I went to Jagriti first day I bombed, that day I met Anand Ratnam.
Okay.
Right. So Anand is a big name,
name in Bangalore,
right, in comedy industry. He does really well. I'm a big fan of him. And I love his video. He released his video yesterday.
Yeah.
Nice one. Very nice one. And he's performing with us in the Zoom lineup today. So I asked him that, hey, Anand, what are the things that you generally do? Like what has worked out? How do I build a set? how much time it takes. So it's always good to get that learning from the senior artists because they have already seen that cycle. When they tell you 5 tips, that's going to be very useful. And if you follow that, it's going to be very useful. See, how you write your content is on you, but what all things you need to do to write. Like Anand said me that, hey, I remember feebly he told me that, I told that, hey, Anand, I practiced for 14 times today and I bombed. He said, don't do that. Don't do that much. Do it once or twice, rehearse yourself, play it in your mind, go in front of the mirror if you're comfortable, and then do it. Come and do it on the stage. Try to remember the sequence and the jokes and try to do it on the stage. Don't overdo a rehearsal. Those are nice things, right? After that, I've never done that much of preparation. I just write it, keep it in my mind, do it. It's open mic. No one is open mic. Most of the times, open mics are free. No one is paying to watch you. People know that. They are watching those comics who are trying out their new sets. So it's perfectly all right to do well, not do well, but don't overdo rehearsals also. That was a nice tip. It has always helped me. After that, I've never done that much of rehearsal. So, like for example, I'm very approachable. Like if anyone is around me, he wants to talk to, I'll be very approachable to talk to him and express whatever he needs to know. I'll be very happy to do that. So connect with people. When you talk to people, they will tell and they will always try to help you. Most of the people are helpful in general. So it's our hesitation that we don't talk.
Yeah.
Hey, he has a video. He's a big person. I will not talk to him. How will he think? Will I be asking him silly questions? No, not at all. He will appreciate if you ask him questions because if he as a big artist or a senior artist is able to help a young, there is no further satisfaction than that, right? That's the best way to grow this industry, right? Once we have big comics.
Once we have people who are very enthusiastic and very ready to approach people and get feedback and all that.
That's right. That's right. I do believe that.
Brings me to the last question.
Sure.
We are Bangaloreans, right? So where do we see you? I mean, where are your shows?
Okay. So Sunobe Comedy Collective, I'm a part of Sunobe Comedy Collective. So we used to, before pandemic, we used to do 8 mics a week. Significant number, and the best one, which is favorite, I mean every Bangalorean, every Bangalore comic will appreciate, was Cubbon Park. Cubbon Park, we used to do 2 to 3 open mics early morning. We'll get up early morning, 8 a.m. We'll go, we'll kind of ask people who are walking around, hey guys, we are doing open mic here, would you like to watch it? They'll come, they'll sit in a bunch of 20, 30 and comics from Bangalore circle will come and they will perform, and people used to enjoy. That spot became so popular that we were covered by newspaper two times. Oh. There is an article which says that 5 best thing to do on a Sunday morning, which covers us, which
Sunobe.
says that the mics which were run by Sunobe. Later on, the number of comics increased by 2-3 folds. It increased so much that we had to request other comedy collectives to start open mics in different part of Cubbon. We said that, hey, you started there, we are doing it here. So there was a point of time before pandemic where every morning 30 comics will be there in Cubbon Park doing spots at different places. And ours was one of the biggest one. We did close to 170 mics there. Big number before the pandemic hit. That's one of my favorite place to do. Now we are not doing because of pandemic. But once the situation becomes better, we are going to do a survey there, see if people are interested, if we can make them sit with proper social distancing and do this, then it will be helpful. We want to do it very soon. Let's see when that starts. I wanted to start with Cubbon Park because it's one of the very important mic for Sunobe as well as for other Bangalore comics. They love performing there. You have started now. Once we start, you can come and perform, and you will get a feel of what I'm saying, why I'm so passionately talking about Cubbon Park. But apart from Cubbon Park, some of the mics which we used to do, those venues we are not doing now. Because people are skeptically coming out and now they are not rushing out to watch. So we are slowly starting our mics. So Friday, 8 p.m. we do this mic at Breads and Banter, ACS layout. You performed there yesterday. Beautiful cafe, amazing place, great chai. Everything is great there. One of the best cafes in Bangalore, I would say. Saturday we do in Yumi and Tea, which is in HSR layout. We do 7:30, so you can catch up or people can see us there, see me there. Then Sunday there is another venue in Whitefield called Bloomsbury Cafe, amazing place again, which can accommodate 50-60 people at a time. There we do mics. So these are the 3 mics that we are doing. We are getting started with 2 more new places. One is Utopia, that's another, it's a very nice cafe again in Whitefield. So we will again be doing Sunday. So Sunday there will be 2 mics in the evening. One is Utopia and Bloomsbury, and Utopia is starting from 7th of March. And then there is another mic which we are starting Saturday. There will be 2 mics along with Yumi and T, is the Bangalore Cafe, which is in Shantinagar.
Bangalore Cafe, Shantinagar,
yes, I was.
AMG Road.
Right, yeah. Close to that in Shantinagar, near the Shanti. So these are the venues which you will see us. But apart from that, there are a lot of shows which are planned this year. We are starting with a big show in the auditorium, which will happen on 14th March. Piyush Sharma is going to come and perform. Okay. He's going to perform 2 back-to-back shows, and there is a local lineup show which is also happening, in which Somnath, Aditya Sridhar, Punya, me, Kritesh and Rishabh will be performing in that local lineup show. These are the things. I mean, a lot of things are going to happen in 2021. Just hope that this pandemic goes away soon. I mean, these names that I say told and the venues that I showed, will keep adding to that. There will be a lot of things we are planning to do.
So you just have to check Book My Show in Insider.
Book My Show, Insider, follow our page, Sunobe. You will get to know a lot of things. We do a lot of things.
Yeah, there's so many funny sketches as well.
Funny sketches, memes, and whatnot. So we try to be around.
Can you just tell us your Instagram handle so that people, if they're interested, they can follow you?
Sure. If you want to follow me, guys, you can follow me on Instagram at @ARRE_O_Deva, DEV, Areo Deva.
Yeah.
So that's my Insta handle, and I'm on Facebook, Twitter. You can follow me anywhere. Send me a friend request. If we have more than 5 mutual friends, I'll accept that.
And if you have watched at least 5 times in a show.
Yeah, if we have met each other once, then I will accept that. Otherwise, on Instagram you can follow. I have a page also in Facebook, so you can follow that. Also, I wanted to talk about YouTube video. I have one YouTube video which was not shot that well. I just posted it to learn how YouTube works. But yes, there is a plan to post a good quality YouTube video this year. We are planning to shoot something in Habitat during mid of this year, and something in Art Khoj also, which is a Bangalore-based recording setup, right? There will be videos which will be out this year. Me and my other friends are planning to put out those videos. We are planning big with respect to Sunobe.
Alright, so that brings us to the end of this conversation. It was great talking to you, Debashish.
Thank you so much, Akif, for your time, for your dedication. I really love this setup.